Hi guys, and welcome back to Maltbox, the non-chill filtered whiskey blog. I'm Andy and I'm back here today with another whiskey review. I know I've done quite a few English whiskey reviews recently, which has been great. I'm now switching it up to Scotland, notably the West Coast. A newish distillery. I've not had any of the whiskies from this distillery on the channel as of yet. It's a relatively new distillery owned by Adelphi. It's basically come into the market a few years back with great aplomb. I know I've already covered off some new distilleries like Lindores Abbey, Rasay, etc. I've kind of held off from doing some from this distillery, in part because whilst the whiskey is fantastic, let's be honest, there's a reason why it's so popular. They are coded releases, basically, so it's the month of release. So you've got a finite window of opportunity to get hold of it. And for me, from my point of view, a finite window of interest for people as well. Because if you can't get hold of it, then it's not going to do you guys any good. Me saying, oh, look, you could have won sometimes, I feel. So I do try and mix it with things that are more readily available. And I think they are kind of stepping into that direction. The distillery that I am talking about is, of course, Ardnamurchan. And there it is. So, based on the west coast of Scotland. And the thing that I do like is it's got the little dancing Adelphi man on the top of the cork. Make sure the cork's on before I tip it sideways. There is the cork. So, again, one of the reasons I wanted to start off this Ardnamurchan journey with this review is because if you see there, so we've got AD/ and it's blank. Oh, previously it was AD/0422, AD/0121, and that's the month and year of bottling. Well, it's the age really in theory, but no, it is the age of bottling, obviously. But they've kind of done away with that to make it a little bit more clear cut. This particular bottle came out recently, I think it was the end of June. I'm recording this in the start of July. As you can see, not much missing from the bottle. Now, Ardnamurchan, a bit in line with the principles of their parent Adelphi, are very much on board with the non-chill filtration, the natural colour and bottling at a decent strength. So, for example, we've got 46.8% volume. We've got non-chill filtered and natural colour. Somewhere. Yeah, there we go. It's very hard to see sometimes if you don't know where to look. Hopefully you can read that. Try and turn the label around a little bit more. There you go. Non-chill filtered, natural colour. Let's see if we can get a cork pop. A bit tame. Now, Ardnamurchan's spirit style is lightly peated. Very, very good spirit quality. Again, it's one of the reasons why I think out of the crop of new distilleries that we've seen in the last sort of 5 years or so, it has been a standout for a lot of people. There's been a bit of a tug of war, I suppose, from my attention, I guess, between Ardnamurchan, Rasay, and I suppose Lindores Abbey as well to some extent. You know, you've also had like Nick Nean and a couple of others come out, but I suppose these guys have been one of the ones that have really pushed the boundaries and got very, very popular very quickly. Now, I said on the front, we've not got anything there, AD/. What they have maintained is this. So we've now got on the side of the box, ABCB, ADCB. It's like a covers band for AC/DC. In the local pub. Welcome, ADCB. Surely it should be ABCD. You know what I mean? I get it. So we've then got a code on here, 042202. So I think this is April, maybe. There you go. There's a little sticker. So if you're used to looking on the bottle, you're now going to have to start looking on the box instead. Now, a couple of things about Ardnamurchan. Now, let's get some information off the box, because that's where a lot of people will have their first experience. Not a lot of people sit around and watch idiots like me drink whiskey for fun. People just generally get hold of something tangible, like this box here. So, Ardnamurchan, built to develop and fully utilise local circular economy, which is great, all about supporting local businesses, fantastic. All the heat and power are supplied by renewable sources within 2 miles of the distillery. Hydroelectric from the river also supplies its cooling water. And wood chip for its biomass boiler delivered from tractor from nearby sustainable forestry. Wow, that's pretty cool. Very, very cool. Very cool. Now, Ardnamurchan also utilise blockchain. the concept to me is pretty alien, a bit like crypto and NFTs. Don't get me started on NFTs. It's a pretty generic joke by now, but I always call them no fucking thanks for NFT, because they're just a picture at the end of the day. Don't understand it, don't want to. Moving on to the whiskey. So we've got some lovely deep golden colour here, a really nice rim on the glass, which tells me it's going to be sticking around. It's going to be a nice oily viscous spirit. On the nose, it's very, very coastal. Does have that kind of sea air, ozone-y freshness, that quality. It's got a lot of lemon in there. It reminds me a little bit of Clan Leash. It's got like a nice waxy lemon. It's got the sea air, the saltiness. It's got a little bit of peat in there, a little bit of smoke. Quite herbal. Really nice malty note. Bit of toffee as well. A bit of ginger. It's really nice. It is really, really nice. And it's one of those drams I think I've described in the past with other whiskies that smells oily. The actual nose texture, the nasal texture is oily, which sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? You don't see people going around doing lines of oil or anything like that. But it is very, very thick, very lush, very forgiving. In the sense that, yes, there are different flavours you can get here, but ultimately I think what you come away with is that it's just very, very good quality whiskey. Really is. Maybe a little bit of icing sugar on there right at the end. So on the palate, again, great texture on the palate for me. Oh, that's nothing to do with the whiskey. That's just me getting my words caught in my throat. Very, very nice maltiness. Honey. The peat comes in, the smoke comes in. It's a lighter smoke, a bit like sort of herbaceous smoke. Got some herbs in there as well, to be fair. I'm getting like sort of maybe a dried sage kind of thing. It's going to sound ridiculous on film, but never mind. More lemon, more of that toffee. Finish is lovely, really, really rewarding is what I was going to say, and I'm going to stick with it. It is, because it's not intrusive, it's not overpowering the finish. It's really nice and sort of soft, gentle, but still carries a lot of flavour with it. I can still feel this really nice kind of warmth here, but it's not overpowering. It's not got a very atypical alcohol burn that some people don't particularly like. I don't really mind it too much. I think one of the standouts is the bottling strength is ideal. 46.8% ticks a box for me personally, not just because it's higher than 40, but I just think it's the perfect strength for it. Whiskies drink to certain strengths, in my view. People cry out, I only want to drink cask strength, and that's fine, everyone's taste different. I very rarely drink a cask strength whiskey without needing to add water to it to bring it to my preferred level. There's a couple that are bottled at 50% that I think pretty well suited and don't require water. I don't think this needs water either at 46.8. I think it's perfectly positioned where it is. Really, it really is. And just going back to that nose, it is lovely. It drinks and it smells above its age. For me, I mean, I'll be honest, cards on the table, I don't know how old this whiskey is. Maybe I'm missing something in the code. Maybe I'm just thick. But it drinks to me like a decent late single number or early double digit whiskey. It does. It genuinely does. I don't mind younger whiskies. I quite like, in some distillery characteristics, the young, youthful sprightliness, the lighter notes. I looked at Filey Bay Flagship the other day, for example. It's a young whiskey, but I think it pulls it off very well because it plays into that nice sort of orchardy, sort of like vanilla-y, light, like honey and lemony kind of notes as well. Very summer dram. This, for me, is in that vein, but it carries a bit more weight to it. It carries a bit more gravitas. This is a whiskey with gravitas. And for me as well, the peat level's perfect. I've confessed to friends recently that I've been buying less and less peated whiskey. My tastes might have changed, possibly. I still enjoy them when I have them, but my preferences lean towards non-peated stuff or lightly peated stuff. I will reach for an Ardbeg or a Kilchoman or something every now and then. Sure, don't get me wrong, but I've got to be in the right mood for it. Whereas previously I just used to drink it in the middle of summer, whereas now I tend to gravitate towards the lighter style stuff for summer. And don't get me wrong, I'm recording this in the British summer. And as you can imagine, middle of July, and it's absolutely peeing it down outside, windy as hell. Lovely stuff. So, speaking of lovely stuff, this Ardnamurchan, retailed, I think, off the top of my head, I think I paid about 46 quid for this, which I believe to be around the retail cost. Ardnamurchan was very, very difficult to get hold of at the start. And it was until recently. I think this release has kind of stuck around a little bit, as has the last, probably because we're looking at larger batches. Some of the clamour and fanfare of trying to get hold of something to try for the first time has probably died off a bit. And people have already got to know the distillery and they're like, right, brilliant. They make good stuff. I've got, I think, 3 bottlings of Ardnamurchan, this being one of them. This is only the second I've opened because I've not got around to the other one in between. So I tried the first release one from last year and this one. And I've got to say, it's lovely. It's probably my favourite so far. Really look forward to trying more from the distillery as things progress. Adelphi clearly know what they're doing. Ardnamurchan know what they're doing. If you can get a hold of one, would I recommend it if you see it on the shelf? Yeah, I probably would. I don't like to tell you how to spend your money. Anyone can spend it how they want. I know I said NFTs aren't for me before. If you want to splash 10 grand on an NFT, crack on. I would personally recommend you spending 45 to 50 quid on this instead. But each to their own. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to box it off now. I'm on Instagram at MaltBoxWhisky. I'm on Twitter at MaltBox, but I'm kind of there still. Thanks for watching. See you soon.